everybody, welcome to a brand new stream. I've been away from it for a while. I did an earlier video, took some feedback, some comments. I appreciate everybody kind of jumping in. It was that I've been gone for a while, and I appreciate the messages and the comments. Found a new game, Crowfall. It's awesome. It's in pre-alpha right now, 5.3.5. It's super in-depth. The crafting in it is multi-tiered. It's multi-in-depth. I'm sure you guys, if you're watching this video, you know a little bit about Crowfall. You've been following it, things like that. All I want to do is, it took me a little bit to get started. There's nothing really out there that's short, sweet, to the point. So that's what I want to do. How to get started making tools. So when you get into the game, you basically have nothing. If you notice, you see down there in my tray at the bottom of the screen is pretty much empty. So let's look at the crafting menu. If you hit your left alt, it will open up your cursor mode. Press alt to return to the game. That's by default. I tried to change it to tab, but tab is reserved for something else, so it doesn't work in tab. So left alt is going to open up this. Over here on the top is your crafting. There's a hotkey for it. I don't remember what it is. Basic harvesting axe. I recommend starting with that one, just because wood is what's going to be required for the remaining parts of the basic harvesting tools. So let's start with the wood. How in the world do I get wood? All you got to do is walk up to a tree. If you notice the little dot, you know, you're used to some of the games where you walk up to it and it's straight on. If you're not paying attention, that dot's over there. Just hold down your left mouse button. You're going to start to hit it. You're doing basically damage. It's not damage per se like hit points. It's resource points. And you just keep hitting it, and then you're going to see a piece of wood fall. Run over, pick it up, and go back to doing it again. If you leave that piece of wood on the ground, there is a chance, if this takes too long, or if you're working on a larger tree or something like that, that piece of wood that fell can despawn. So just stop what you're doing, run over, pick it up. There's an apple. Apples will randomly drop from the trees as well. Run over, pick them up. If you notice up in the top left-hand corner below the stamina, there's a food tray there, or food bar. You want to make sure that you gather apples. You can get meat from wildlife to be able to cook on a campfire, things like that, to be able to keep your food up a little bit. Once you get down to a certain point, you stop gaining hit point regeneration. So you want to make sure that you got food going, apples, meat, things like that from the local wildlife. So we've gathered some wood. I've obviously done this a little bit. So we've gathered some wood. Let's throw up 3 pieces of wood and assemble that first harvesting axe, the basic axe. You don't really get any experimentation points or anything like that because it is basic. So you just have to go with the default 100 durability. Let's go ahead and take that new axe. Once we've got it over here into our inventory, all we're going to do is we're going to grab that axe and bring it right up here underneath the shield icon. And that's going to, if you notice, put it down on the bottom. It's also going to give it to us then as a weapon. And if you notice over here, kind of in behind where the inventory is, those are pips. PIP is what those are called, pips. And as you strike the tree, that pip is going to go up a little bit higher. And each pip is going to give you see if I can find the window. Here we go. Each pip is going to give you like a boost, like a buff while you're harvesting. Harvest pips gain buffs based on the number of harvest pips spent. So as you notice, there's a maximum of 5. And each one of them changes. The triangle changes. The next one's going to change to like an explosion. What that 4th one does, harvest pip gains heightened harvest, which increases the effectiveness of any of the energetic, perceptive, and stamina restore. So energetic is the first one. Look at it. Gain energetic harvest, which increases the grave digging, logging, mining, quarrying, and skinning by 5% for 8 seconds. If we spend 2 pips, we gain perceptive harvest, which increases the spot's weaknesses. So you're going to see like a bullseye on whatever it is you're hitting, whether it's a tree, stone, or metal node. It's going to give you a bigger hit and more of a likelihood of giving you one piece of that resource on that next hit. And so what I like to do is I'll go up to 4, and then if you look down on my hotbar, the number 1 is what's going to spin that. And then what I'll do is I'll hit it 2 more times and then hit the number 1 again. So now I should get like a bullseye. There we go. And if you hit that bullseye just right, it'll give you another bullseye. And usually what'll happen is you'll get several pieces of wood or apples or whatever the resource is that you're going after. Okay, so we've gathered some more wood. We've already got the axe. We can close out of this window. And we go in here, and if you notice the hammer, we're just going to right click on the wood that we've collected. Sometimes it did this to me earlier today too. Close out of that, go back into it, open it back up, open up my crafting menu. There we go. And so the hammer, you can assemble that, the knife, and the pick. If you notice at the bottom here, creates a basic runestone which offers mining. The knife, harvest hide from animals. The hammer is going to be stone from rocks. And of course the axe is wood from trees. So that's how to start with your basic tools, okay? Then you see some of these people running around with these blue tools. See if I can find somebody with a blue tool. I've got one actually. There's a guy right there. These blue tools. What you want to do is you want to use those basic tools first to gather enough to be able to make these blue tools. The blue tools are the ones that's going to give you a buff to mining, a buff to quarrying, a buff to logging. So the way to make those, and here's where I really thought the game started to take off for me. Instead of the basic crafting, we're going to go into rune making. And I had to ask several questions and look around, and so I'm going to save you guys the time from doing that. Harvesting tools. Runestone harvesting tools. Takes a sigil and an unmarked runestone. Okay, well we're going to make those in rune components. Whether it's an axe sigil, hammer, pick, shovel, specialty seal, that's something used for crafting later on. Basically what we want to look at is the axe, the hammer, the knife, the pick, and the shovel. If you decide to go that route with the shovel, because it's used in the architecture mode down the road for gathering earth and things like that. Okay, so the sigil itself is going to require parchment paper. So we need to get out of rune making, and we're going to go down here to woodworking and woodworking components, because everybody knows that paper comes from wood. We've already gathered some wood. Let's go ahead and make some paper. You can also rename that if you wanted to. In that other screen, it showed you where you could rename that. It's just parchment paper. I'm not going to take the time to rename it or anything like that. So we've made some parchment paper. We've taken it. We've got it over here. So we can close back out of woodworking. We don't need any more parchment paper until later if we run out. And then let's see here. We want to make a... How's my pick doing? Ooh. How's this pick? That's the... let's see here. Have I got 2 picks? It looks like I do have 2 picks. Can I take that pick back out? Yeah. Okay, so this pick is 265. This pick is 244. Okay. How about my knife? How's it doing? Let's make another knife. So my knife is almost empty. So we'll go over here to find a knife. And we've got parchment paper, which we just made, so we're going to throw that up there. And then the ore. And the thing about this, I like this because you can kind of look over at wildcard agent. Anything, any kind of ore. Ingredients placed in this slot can alter the recipe outcome. So what kind of ore do we want to use? We're going to need 4 pieces, 2 on either side. So we've got 2 copper ore here. We've got 2 copper ore there. Let's go ahead and throw both of those in there, and let's assemble it. And it's just going to be a knife sigil. Now we've got some experimentation points. Like my other video, and I'm going to go ahead and cover it again, if you go ahead and use all 4 points at one time, your risk is 100%. It's either pass or fail. That's it. There is no maybe nots. What I like to do is I spend 1 point at a time. I only run that 25% risk. that was a success, so it gave us a little bit of increase. My skill here is 0. That's why I'm doing it just 1 point at a time. If my skill was higher, then obviously I would be using more points because my skill level would outweigh the difficulty level, so I could just burn up all my points all at once. I'm not going to do that though. So our durability gives us a 9.54 increase. We're going to go over here. Again, we could rename it if we wanted to. We're just going to leave it the same. Make that item. Okay. So we needed a sigil, which we just made. The other thing, if we remember right, whenever we looked at the harvesting tool, was a... Let's go ahead and take this out. The other thing that we need was an unmarked stone runestone or a wooden runestone. Looks like we've got plenty of both. Let's go ahead and make a stone one. So we'll throw 3 pieces of stone in there. We'll go ahead and craft that up. Next, again, our durability. I'll show you. So there's the 4, there's the risk. Run the experiment, failure. So it's either a win or a lose. I lost all, it's 100% risk. I was risking everything. I'm a gambling man. Not really, that's why I was clicking on one at a time. I just wanted to show you guys 0, 0, 0, 0. So I did not gain anything on that. It's going to go ahead and give us a stone, runestone. So now we've got our knife sigil. We're going to have the unmarked stone. So we're going to go ahead and grab that. Now we can close out of the components. We're going to go back up here to the runes, harvesting tools. All right. It doesn't matter. Notice it doesn't matter. All this is asking for is what sigil are you going to put in there? Well, we made a knife sigil, so it knows, hey, you're going to make a knife. And then we're going to go ahead and throw our stone in there, and we'll go ahead and assemble that. So it knows based off the sigil that we're going to make a knife. Throw that in there, and if you notice here the statistics, skinning is a +5. If you look at your basic knife over here, no plus to anything. It just gives you 100 durability, no plus to anything. This has 262 durability with a +5 to skinning. But again, we get that experimentation. Let's see what it does if we run one into. We failed there. Let's try again. Oh, we got a success. So that added a little bit, 1.05%. It upped our skinning now to 5.79. It's still that 1, so there's the 5, and then the 0.05 is the .79. You guys understand how that works, I'm sure. We'll run another test. We failed there. And let's see if we can increase any durability. We failed there. The difficulty on that's 45. My skill's 0, so not a lot of times do I find anything that really boosts it super high. I've got one over here. I got a 7.33 on my mining on that one. Got pretty good on that one. Plus 9.84 on there for that one. So this knife now, I've got that extra knife, so when this one breaks, I've got my backup now over here. So guys, that's a quick start on how to make your basic tools, just from gathering some wood. Just gather a bunch of wood. You're going to need on those basic tools, crafting here, basic axe is going to be 3, there's 6, there's 9, 12 pieces of wood is going to make you all of the first bits of the first basic harvesting tools. Gather some more wood with that axe after you make some of these other things, or just use this axe to gather all the resources that you need for the wood. You're going to have the hammer for some of the stone. Don't worry about the knife and the pick if you don't want to. Don't make those basic ones. The reason I did is because when these fail, if these runestone picks fail and I break them, I like to have these as backups. That way I can not have to go bang a bunch of wood with my hand, but I've got these backup tools over here so I can go back to the basic gathering to be able to get back into starting the runestone hammers. They don't take up a lot of space. And when you do get full, if you want to just drag them off the screen like this one, where's the one that's almost broke? None of those are almost broke. Anyway, you just drag them off the screen. You just drag it to the middle of the screen and it'll drop it and get it off of your inventory. So guys, that's a quick start. How to get your basic tools, how to get some of the runecraft tools that are going to give you the plus bonuses to your mining. Hope this helps you guys get started. Next video is also going to be short and sweet. We'll look at the armor. Have a great one. thanks. If you like the videos, I'm going to start doing a whole series now on Crowfall. I'm going to stick with it. Love this game. Love the complexity. Sub up. You guys will get notifications whenever I get a new videos out there. Stick with me. You guys won't be disappointed. My videos are super in-depth, and usually they're pretty quick. So have a great one, guys. I'll see you next time.